Guys, Sombra del Piso back once again with yet another video. Guys, like, comment, subscribe as you already know. Join the Patreon. Link is going to be in the description below. We're going to have exclusive content, videos, posts, so on and so forth. It's going to function essentially as an isolated yet main primary website for a lot of the content that I'm going to release, moving forward. So with that being said, let's get into the topic of today's video, which is going to be essentially about our strengths as men, more specifically our latent abilities that we have been blinded to not only understand and relish in, but even acknowledge living in the Western society, living in the Western world, talking about the United States, United Kingdom, well, Western Europe, Canada, Australia, all of that stuff. We need to understand that as men, we have a lot of power and ability. I don't think we understand that. I think we have an idea about what we can do in the aggressive sense because we look at the past. We think about the Soviet Union, KGB, which are primarily run by men, were run by men. The National Socialists, started by a very passionate man, then got off the rails, and even to slavery, right? Definitely started by essentially men. We look at a lot of the negative and aggressive aspects of men, but we don't understand our powerful strengths, right? So let's reel it in for this video, and we're gonna get into it right now, right? So you have to understand, one, let's get into the essential bit, reproduction, right? So as men, we can reproduce for as long as we want. I don't think you guys understand that. We could choose to be a celibate, right? I'm not saying that this is necessarily a situation, but I'm saying that this is a thing that can be entertained, right? You can be a celibate from 20 to 50 years old, but then at 52, you could, if your body is still healthy and your semen is still potent and efficient, you can, or has efficacy in terms of transmitting the, genetic code or whatnot, DNA, you can still have children, which is insane, right? So, on the other end, the flip side, women sort of reach menopause around like 30 something, 35, I forget, 40, and they are not able to have kids again. So what does that mean? That means that in a situation, right, in the Western world, like feminism, the specter that has been destroying our societies, right, in many, many ways, feminism not only pushes the supremacy, now it is, the supremacy of women over men, but it also pushes the focus of the work life and career life over having a family, which is understandable because there are various economies where that was nothing but the choice, right? The women had no choice but that. The economies that I'm talking about are in South Korea, for example. South Korea, there's only like 3 universities that people are all families all around hire tutors for their kids in order for their kids to even receive admission to those universities. Once they receive admission to those universities, then they are apparently worthy enough to get hired by one of the subsidiary companies that are all under the umbrella of Samsung. The government in South Korea pushed a lot of anti-female edicts and whatnot. Of course, as a response, women had to, they pushed the whole 4B movement just to express their complete distaste and their angry sentiment towards these policies, right? Which is understandable. In Japan as well, a lot of the men, first of all, they work countless hours, men and women, they work numerous hours. I think either the governor of Tokyo or the new prime minister after Shinzo Abe of Japan, they pushed the whole thing in parliament of having a 4-day work week. Of course, it's not going to do anything about changing what the prices were set in the various industries by the privately owned companies that set these prices for the various goods and services. So naturally, the Japanese populace are still going to partake in working countless hours every single week, right? We already know this. In addition to that, we have a lot of men that are doing what's going on, man? How are you?
Thank you.
Hey, what's going on? Oh, you're interested? It's a Sombra del Piso.
What?
Sombra del Piso. What language do you speak?
I speak English.
No, what else? You're
Uzbekistan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you know Uzbek?
I used to go to Kingsborough College. I had a girlfriend from Uzbekistan.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know how to speak Uzbek, but I had a girlfriend from Uzbekistan.
Okay.
Yeah, I got you.
Girlfriend?
Girlfriend from Uzbekistan.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sombra del... Here we go. This is me. Boom. The first one. The dark-skinned guy. The first guy. This one. No. Oh, yeah, that's me.
This?
That's me, yeah.
What about?
That's a good question. I talk about men's health, mental health, sexual discipline, and living your life
Ah.
as a man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty healthy. Maybe you'll benefit from it.
Now life.
Well, I'm making a video now.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a new fan from Uzbekistan. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks. Where this life?
Oh no, it's not a live stream. It's a video. I'm filming a video.
Only
Yeah, so
video.
I'm gonna edit and then I'm gonna put it in. So maybe you be in the video.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you. See you later. So, as I was saying, right, in South Korea, South Korea, in Japan, there's the hikikomori culture that is prevalent with men. What does that mean? A lot of men are looking at anime, like the lewd anime. They're sleeping with sex dolls. They have dialed out of the work culture completely. They don't date at all. They live at their parents' house. So a lot of women in that economy are forced to work for themselves and become financially independent, which I understand. But in a situation, an economic situation like here in the West, right, in the United States, United Kingdom, Western Europe, of course, where there is a huge boon and benefit through living in these economies. A lot of women, due to the indoctrination of feminism by, social media, various governments and whatnot, they have decided to opt out of having kids in favor of chasing their career, which of course in the government's end, it's okay, more taxpayers, so that's great. And two, a discord between men and women, so we can be a bit more malleable and a bit more controllable by the powers that be, the elites, blood drinkers, Freemasons, secret societies, all that kind of stuff. As men, as free men, understand that in France, the people that were responsible for the numerous French revolutions were men. Everything that is started in this world, anything that is a powerful, significant change has been created by men. You need to understand and tap into your latent powers. It's not just the power of prolonged ability to reproduce, right? Also, we have the power of sexual discipline, which could give us access to a lot of latent creative and physical abilities that were unbeknownst to us before we even decided to undertake the practice. I always name these examples, and I'm sure in the NoFap semen retention space, a lot of people talk about this as well, these examples. Nikola Tesla. We have Mike Tyson for a limited period of time when he was in his prime. We have Leonardo da Vinci. We have Isaac Newton. We have all of these William Shakespeare. We have all of these very, very powerful individuals. Gandhi, Mahatma Gandhi, who led to the liberation of India from England due to his staunch stance of celibacy. Guys, there's a lot. We have no idea, us men walking around living our lives day to day, just grinding. Right? We have no idea the ability that was bestowed to us, that is bestowed to us and is latent in our DNA from our forefathers. I'm telling you, this is isolate of race, this is isolate of culture, all of that stuff. We need to enact a little bit of sexual discipline, a little bit of understanding about the things around us in order to tap into those latent abilities. Like me, for example, right? I had no idea. I couldn't tell you 4 years ago, 3-4 years ago, that right now I'll be able to speak another language. How did I learn Spanish? First of all, I stayed in Colombia for 3 months. I talk about this all the time. And then not only that, due to my heavy practice of semen retention at the time, because I wasn't, I was not necessarily chasing women, but I wasn't really interested in sleeping around. I really wasn't. I was just interested in seeing how far semen retention will take me. And for some reason, as I was learning Spanish, a lot of the words popped out to me, like I was explaining this in the Serie de Español video very, very long ago. A lot of the words sort of spoke to me in a different way. This sounds like some brujeria, de verdad. But I'm telling you, this is how I felt. And I was able to really understand the words. And I'm not saying that this necessarily is going to happen to you, but I'm just saying through a little bit of discipline enacted sexually and mentally, you will find your own latent abilities and have access to them and be able to cast them upon the world. Also, as men, I do understand that in this current economic climate, right? A lot of us are just not working. A lot of us have dialed out of society. A lot of us are not even being social. A lot of us don't even have a lot of friends, and that's fine. The friend part is okay, because you can't try to convince someone to like you. That's really the long, the tall, the short of it. And the more you do that, you're trying to buy into a system, a group of individuals that could not only change the goalpost, so it's constantly having you switch up your personality in order to get accepted by the fold, but two, you are not necessarily finding or developing any better by trying to fit in with society that does not accept you, that don't even have congruent nor concurrent views as you in terms of objective ascension, right? You have to understand that this world is very, very fallen when it comes to discipline. Discipline is something that is akin, at least in the eyes of the individuals that are around us, right? The majority of society. Discipline is akin to traditionalism, which is akin to Christianity and religion, which is akin to an old way of thinking that is oppressive to the contemporary norm. You have to understand this is how people view these things. If you walk around and talk about, oh, I'm on semen retention, you are going to lose friends. People are not going to talk to you. You're not going to. Please do not say that as if you're trying to get a job and that is one of your skills, that you are sexually disciplined. You are not going to get the position. It's as simple as that. Because it is strange. This world views sexual discipline as something antiquated and therefore dangerous and isolating. Right? That's just what it is. That's the long, the tall, the short of it. What's going on, man? The thing is, you have, as a man, you have to tap into your abilities. You have a lot of strengths. Young men, we have a lot of abilities. Do not try to seek your value based on someone else. A woman can choose to have a career, and that is a luxury, and they don't necessarily need to have a career in order to live. Granted, the flip side is being subjugated to some sort of patriarchal entity, which is a man. For the rest of their lives, and then the woman will lack any sort of autonomy. So I understand that career is obviously the more liberating choice, but generally us men do not have that option. We do not. If we choose to dial out of society, the only one that loses are us. We are the only losers. We lose the ability to progress, and we lose the ability to sustain, to create sustenance for ourselves financially and, food-wise and all that kind of stuff, having a house and whatnot. It's much more of a challenge to be a man in society, right? It's very, very difficult. And you have to understand that through this difficulty and triumphing through it and going through it, not necessarily triumphing through it, because a lot of us are not really conquering anything. A lot of us are just getting through our lives. But the more as a man you go through the harshness and the hardships of life, you're throwing upon yourself impetuses to evolve, to grow, to understand more about this reality, to understand more about yourself. Learn more as a man. Open up your worlds more. Try to learn other languages. Please, we are American, right? We are individuals that have the ability to have access to Udemy, right? For cheap. We can learn another language if we want to, and we could learn whatever skill we want if we decide to. We do not need to go to college. Granted, I went to college because I believed that it was going to do me good. I even studied some graduate degree courses. It has done nothing to me. College is not even the best route. But what I'm saying, though, is that despite how the modern world treats you as a man, we have access to a lot of things through the internet in order to liberate ourselves and to advance spiritually, mentally, intellectually, emotionally, all that stuff. We have the readings of Marcus Aurelius. If you need help on trying to be a little bit emotionally stable, we can learn any language we want. We can learn Uzbek, Espanol, we can learn Mandarin, anything you want. You can be from any culture. You can learn whatever you want. And I advise you as a man to learn these things. Make yourself as dynamic as possible, as open, as expansive as possible. Do not ever fall into the waves and the vibrations of the people around you because it's of a low vibration. You seldom meet a lot of women in general that know multiple languages in the United States. Seriously, a lot of us men don't know a lot of multiple languages as well, right? Because, there is no need to. We are embedded with this cultural supremacy. For some reason, American culture is better than everyone else's culture. Why the hell do we need to learn Vietnamese? I'm saying this, guys, try to make yourselves as expansive as possible. Tap into your latent abilities through your being sexually disciplined or just being mentally disciplined in order to truly reap the benefits of what you are as a man, right? And with that being said, that is all I have to say in this video today, guys. If you guys enjoyed that kind of content, like, comment, subscribe, share the video with some peers. Listen, don't ever let this place get you down. This place is tough. I'm telling you, it's tough. I can't tell you guys how many jobs I've lost. I can't tell you how many schools I've got kicked out of. I can't tell you how many friends I've lost. I really cannot. I really cannot. However, I can tell you that I am still as positive as a neutron. Correct me if I'm wrong. I am incredibly positive and I still have my eyes on the horizon. And at the end of the day, if nothing works out, at the end of the day, I live a good life. I enjoyed myself, despite being removed from a lot of institutions and societies. And I would happily do it again if I was forced to be in that situation again. I'm saying this, guys, be positive about your situations. Expand your world. If you are trying to learn another language and they don't want to accept you in that culture by learning their other language, it's okay, move on. Who cares? Who cares? Try to learn some arithmetic. Try to understand what Leonardo da Vinci was understanding as he walked this earth with his creative, completely eccentric, idiosyncratic self. Try to understand this place. Try to understand yourself. Stop trying to identify or try to find out who you are through women. You will never win. I'm telling you, they have no impetus to ever change or evolve. Trust me. Understand yourselves. Be a little disciplined. It's not hard to be disciplined. It's not. It's really not. I'm telling you. And stay radiant. I'm going to see you guys in the next video.